Good morning, everyone. I'm just gonna say we're gonna get started at like 9:12. So enjoy your breakfast. Okay, everyone. I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Are we ready? Yeah? All right, great. I will call our final Senate meeting to order at 9:14 a.m. Thank you for that. We'll go ahead and start with the land acknowledgement. Associated Students recognizes and acknowledges the first people of this ancestral and unceded territory of Fernandino Tataviam, Band of Mission Indians that is now occupied by our campus of California State University Northridge, honors their elders past and present, and the descendants who are citizens of the Fernandino Tataviam Band of Mission Indians. Associated Students recognizes that the tribe is still here, and we are committed to lifting up their stories, culture, and community. I'll now hand it over to our Attorney General Martinez for a roll call.
Vice President Cohn. Here. Senator Aronson. Senator Basilio. Here. Senator Gali. Senator Gavino.
Here.
Senator Henamiano Aragon.
Here.
Senator Harris. Here. Senator Covinia. Senator Larios. Here. Senator Miyoshi.
Here.
Senator Natapure. Here. Senator Nunez. Here. Senator Olgan. Here. Senator Perez. Here. Senator Paliam. Here. Senator Toledo Kranza. Here. And Senator Chen. Thank you. We have quorum.
Thank you. Go ahead and go to our next line item, the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion on the floor, Senator Gavino?
I move to approve the agenda for May 5th, 2025.
Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Perez. Any discussion on the approval of today's agenda? Seeing none, we'll take this to a vote. All in favor of approving the agenda for May 5th, 2025, please raise your hand. This passes unanimously. Thank you. We'll now move on to the approval of the minutes for April 28th, 2025. Is there a motion on the floor? Senator Nunez.
I move to approve the minutes of April 28, 2025.
Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Perez. Any discussion on the approval of the minutes? If there are no objections to the approval of the minutes, they will pass unanimously. Are there any objections? Seeing none, the minutes from April 28, 2025 have passed unanimously. We'll now move on to special presentations from CSUN Athletics with Mary Beth Walker and her colleagues. Thank you. Please come to the podium. And then there's a button on the microphone that you'll need to click.
Thank you so much for having us with you today. We're looking forward to this opportunity. I'm Mary Beth Walker. I'm the Acting Director of Intercollegiate Athletics for CSUN. And with me today are Coach Angie Ned, women's basketball, Coach Terry Davila, men's soccer, and they represent some of the best of CSUN athletics. Angie's a relative newcomer, and Terry's a matador through and through. So I'm happy they were able to come with us, and they will help with our conversation. Glad for the opportunity to see you today. We have interacted with Associated Students over the years in multiple ways. I have been in this position just for about 6 weeks now, and I'm so impressed with the outstanding student athletes I've interacted with. And I'm really also very impressed with our coaches and their deep commitment to their sport and their knowledge and their competitive drive in their sport. But I'm so impressed with how they care about the student athletes as a whole person. They care about their academics. They care about their plans after college. They know their families. And I'm just really impressed by that degree of commitment and that degree of commitment to CSUN and to the program. So it's been a great experience for me so far, and I'm looking forward to the next few months of working with them. Okay, so we got a short presentation, and then we want to talk with you all. So first of all, I'm a professor of economics here at CSUN. And so the first thing I want to talk about is our academic highlights. So across the department, fall 2024, department-wide GPA is 3.16, which is pretty good. Our student athletes have won all sorts of scholastic honors. So one of the things we did last week was we presented the awards for Scholar Athletes of the Year. These go to the male and female athletes with the highest GPAs. Two men tied for the honor, GPAs of 3.98, one of whom is a mechanical engineering major. And among the women athletes, 7 had perfect 4.0 GPAs in fall 24. And at least a couple of them were repeaters. They'd done that before. So I'll also just say that in that group, the seniors, all kinds of plans to go to grad school in all these different fields, you know, speech pathology and in psychology, child and adolescent development. So there's a big variety. So the student athletes are in every college, in every department. So very impressive on the academics. Now, I could stand here and show you a bunch of slides about let me, before I get into that, let me just say, we've worked with Associated Students. If you look, there's all kinds of different events that over the years where we've partnered with you, and we want to find more ways to partner with you. And so that's one of the things we want to talk about after I finish the short presentation. So I did have a lot of slides in here that talked about some of the great honors. I mean, we've got an All-American hammer thrower, Trey Knight, made the All-American team. We've got our softball team going to the first ever conference tournament. They're second in the Big West Conference right now. Our men's basketball team tied for the most wins at CSUN in a single season. So there's all kinds of things to brag about, but you know what? It's a lot more fun to show you. So will the video come on by itself, or do we have to do something? Whew. They are so awesome to watch. It is so much fun. Thank you. I think we want to turn over and have a conversation with you, and I'm going to let Coach Terry lead it off.
Well, first off, thank you guys for having us, and it's excited to see all these majors. And I get a little PTSD. I feel like I have to take a final tomorrow. I don't know why. But anyways, you know, we would like to open it up to like how we can partner with you guys and some of your ideas. You guys do a tremendous job, and I know that, you know, we open up an avenue that is very helpful, but I know that you guys are the embrace of our whole community of this whole Northridge campus. And we want to bring it to you guys, is that how you can partner with us, or we really want to partner with you guys, not you with us. we want to partner with you because what you can bring to the table and some of your ideas as students and how innovative you guys are, I think we can do something special together and bring something that is very nice to the Northridge campus. And, with your help, I think the sky's the limit. I think we can create a beautiful environment for our students, and we can put it together with athletics would even be even more so. I know you don't need us, but we like to be part of what you guys are doing. So if you have any ideas or any questions, or you can bring anything to Mary Beth or Angie, right now is a good time to go, say anything. Any ideas?
Anyone would like to go ahead? Yep, Senator Toledo Carranza.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming and presenting. My question is, do you guys have like any way where students that are athletes, because I know it's very hard to handle both academics and athletics, have like a way to say their issues and concerns and what they need, and if those things are being worked on? Yeah.
To be like mental health issues, academic issues, that what you mean more specifically like
Just
that?
any issues, because as student government, we listen to students' issues and concerns, and so we collect all of those so that we can work on those matters and make like changes and on campus. So is there a way that you guys do that already in athletics, or?
I can actually, from my perspective too, is that with the NCAA and how the voice of the student athletes is extremely important, and their overall mental being, which is very holistic with academics, mental being, and athletics. Our department is very cognitive of that. We offer many, many different avenues for them, and we allow, like, coaches don't really work with the mental part. We allow the professionals to go do it. The academic part, we allow the academic advisors to go work with that and the proper tutoring. So whatever a child or, excuse me, a student athlete needs, we have from health issues, eating issues, mental issues, learning disability, whatever it may be. We have all these avenues and all these resources to go work with them. That's a very good question. That's probably the best part of our program is how we develop the overall person. So that's an outstanding question. Thank you for asking that.
Hi, so me and my fellow Senator Bella, we actually met with Colin Donahue and Edith last 2 weeks ago, I believe. And we were just throwing around some ideas because we, excuse me, we did recognize that our CSUN athletics are such an amazing program, and we have such amazing teams, especially majority of them being D1. And we really wanted to work together and find a way to really highlight that and kind of show that even though we may not have football, we have all these other great sports that are can be just as part of like our school culture as football could be. So we really talked about that and how we could highlight that. And we were throwing some ideas around, like having the captains come out, maybe work with marketing and AS and talk about the captains, their name, when their like first game is, and what they're gonna be doing, and how they're excited for the next season. We're even talking about having like the captains being put like on the flyers, like on the light poles, instead of just like having advertisement like that, like at UCLA, where they have like a QR code with like the game schedule and then the captain of the team. So we were just talking about ways like that where we could really highlight our teams, because they are really amazing, and I would love to see more of like a culture of sports at CSUN.
I think those are all great ideas. And Colin and Edith both talked to me a little bit about your enthusiasm and ideas. We'd love to work on all those. I'd like to see the student athletes and some of the coaches at some of like at the early fall semester events, orientation. I mean, maybe we could do some fun kind of things there. At least on one or two of the days of orientation. And so just really bring it into the new students, all the different opportunities and how much fun it really can be to be part of it. So I think I appreciate that and would be delighted to keep in a conversation with you about that. So.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming, because I'm a graduating senior now, and I've tried to go like every year since the dorms to as many athletic events as I can, because it's just so fun. And coming to this school, like, I thought, oh, there's not going to be as much like sport culture, kind of like the Attorney General is saying. But there really is. And then I get my friends out there and they're like, wait, this is really fun. So I know for Associated Students was invited for the men's basketball, some of the men's basketball. Well, we're always invited, but we went as like VIP and it was like really cool. And we like tried to bring friends and it was just like so awesome. I think kind of collaboration like that for other sports and not just men's basketball could be really fun, for like baseball or softball, women's basketball, soccer. I know it gets like really cool out there, especially for students. So maybe like more collaboration with those other sports and teams would be really fun because I know everyone that went on our side had a lot of fun when we went. And it was just like cool to just bond and then see a good game. And yeah, so kind of like more like that would be really cool.
Do you think that it would make sense for maybe a couple of people from Associated Students to have like a regular short meeting with maybe a coaches council or with the athletic director? I mean, you can figure out what would make
Yes.
the most sense,
Yes.
just so that we could keep up with each other on, what worked, what you thought might have fallen flat, and what other ideas come up along the way, because you never know, when you're going to think of something. So, Angie, you want to jump in?
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for having us. It's an honor. We are excited. Many of the ideas in which you guys have mentioned, just cross-campus support is huge to us. We were once students on these campuses trying to explore and connect and bridge community, right? So we are excited of the opportunity just to connect. How can we enlighten the opportunities to engage more? How can we be of value to you guys a little bit more? And we do have a student athlete council. So I don't recall, Senator, what your name was. I'm sorry. But I think it'd be a great opportunity for you guys to cross-collaborate, maybe share these ideas, some concerns in which you were speaking of earlier, and just having a platform where we can engage better. But at the end of the day, we want to be able to bridge the gap. And how do we just cross-support a little bit better and get into your spaces and just strengthen the community for the overall student athlete and student experience?
Yeah, I was really enthusiastic when you brought up that meeting. So Tim and I, as well as my vice president, we had some collaborations with the men's basketball team this past year. And as I reflected on kind of like a lot of the improvements that Senator Nunez hit really well on in regard to marketing, and I have my own kind of points as well. I was really reflecting, and I was like, there needs to be more kind of like what is the optical aspect of this? Like, what is the campus seeing? Because I think that would really benefit athletics. So like something like for me at least, so I know we just briefly spoke, I was a student athlete my whole life, and I understand, how much athletics plays into the general spirit of a campus. And I think one of the, even like very minuscule changes that we were thinking of, or not changes, additions, is, having the schedule posted of games like in the common areas, having there was something else. Just like A-frames as much as you can anytime there's any other events, or like maybe even just more programming outside of, the games. And I understand, like, I'm sure you guys are slammed all year round. I couldn't even imagine. But I mean, if there ever is a potential for like programming in general, so the one at the start of the year, what's it called again?
Matador Madness?
Yeah, so like that's awesome. And like I know AS, we've collaborated with that, and there's a bunch of turnout, and that's a really great way to say, we're here, we exist, and we want you guys to be part of this. So anything of that nature where it's just, and I think that's what we do really well in Associated Students, is that we try to just be everywhere as much as we can. And I know something that we've really kind of taken an initiative on is staying outside of like the Matador Square area, and we've been branching out, and Productions has done a really good job doing that, and just making ourselves known on campus. And I think athletics has a lot of potential with doing that.
I couldn't agree more. I think that, a lot of students see that in our, when we're attracting new students and they see excitement around that and they think, that sounds like a lot of fun. That sounds like an enthusiastic group. And in addition to everything else, the wonderful resources and the wonderful academics that CSUN provides for all its students, it's also, this is a big part, can be an even bigger part of campus life. And I think help in that part too. So, I really like the direction you're going in with your conversations about this. That student athlete council, that is a great idea to connect up and keep having the conversation. So that sounds great.
Yeah, and I also want to mention briefly, I think one of the biggest things that like we as an ASY, it's really helpful that we can collaborate with athletics is because we have a really good gauge and general sense of the campus and what students are feeling. That's essentially the work that we do all the time. And I think the biggest obstacle that, in my opinion, athletics faces in terms of just engagement from the campus with like games and programming is the fact that we are a very predominantly commuter campus. So having to adapt to that, and I think again, AS has done that really well by, having events during the day, having them for long periods of time so that, some people are on campus for the first 2 hours of the day, some people are on campus for the last, 2 hours in the afternoon. Every so often we'll do evening events, etc. So adapting to that and being strategic on marketing and programming to kind of like accustomed to the fact that we are a commuter campus and students aren't probably going to spend extra time here if they don't need to other than their classes. So yeah. Yeah.
No, that's something to keep in mind and think about organizing events with that in mind. I've noticed over the years that I've been here that Associated Students does a very good job of positioning different things at different times just to accommodate that. So that's a good thought. Is there anything else?
Yeah. Go ahead, Tisha.
Thank you for coming. I want to suggest one thing that besides the sports, as number one title they have is being student. CSUN is pretty big campus, and we try our best with the AS, but also each of us bring different things to table here. So I feel that the student athletes that can benefit so much from maybe taking a tour to cultural houses or matzo houses, because as you mentioned, how they come from different different background and different majors. In the past, I met with this a beautiful athlete who was very shy, and then I think their only connection with CSUN was just the team. But CSUN is so big, and they do lack of making connections the other part of CSUN. It's beautiful to have that team there, but what happens if there's the thing can happen and then they need other needs that they cannot connect or talk with the team members. So let's open bigger spaces for them. So Omatsa houses, cultural houses is really for them to make those connections. It just in since perspective, I was thinking that maybe making those connections, volunteering options, engaging with the community here at CSUN, not only with the AS, but we each hold different tabling or events. Maybe just like again taking tour to the those kind of resources to maybe they can find extra connection there that they might not able to share with the team members.
That's a very good point. And I think that I'll let the coaches talk about the athletes' orientation to CSUN, but you're exactly right that they need different points of connection and senses of belonging beyond their teammates. And they are close knit. They're very close with their teammates. But you're right. We have so many other resources, and the cultural houses are definitely part of that. So we'll make sure to talk about that and include that in the overall orientation.
I'm gonna take you up on that. So the diversity of our sports, basketball and soccer is huge. And for us to have any cultural things or people from their country, whatever it may be, people that have gone through what they've gone through would be a tremendous resource for us. And I'm really excited about this opportunity, and I would love to follow up with you and start that right away. And my kids will jump on that. They really enjoy that. And my players, I want to speak for my players, is that they're really excited to be part of a group, not just ours, but they want to be part of the Cal State Northridge community because they want to play for you guys. And also, if that happens and we feel very connected, it gives us more of a incentive to play well and play hard. So I really appreciate that. And I can't wait to speak to you about that. That's to my heart. I like that a lot.
Similar to what Terry mentioned, so the makeup of my roster is partly international and domestic. So I have student athletes from all over the world. It's a global makeup. And as Mary Beth shared earlier, we're trying to give the student athlete a well-rounded, holistic experience, right? You connect through having shared experiences. You may come from Nigeria, Sweden, Spain, or maybe Arizona, but to your point of having a cultural house, being a resource where you have a safe haven or something that's just a connector where you feel disconnected from home could be a valuable resource. And I think it's great. We look forward to the opportunity just to engage with you more. Some of my student athletes have already sought out opportunities to connect with different clubs and different clubhouses as well. But if there's anything that we can do in addition to what was mentioned here previously, we're more than willing to do that. We're excited about the opportunity to thrive and just elevate athletics, but also excited about the opportunity to bridge the gap and connect community and just be better and give our student athletes a well-rounded experience as well as supporting the students here on campus. So thank you.
Thank you. Senator Toledo Carranza.
Yeah, along with what senators were speaking about, making events and more programming, I know it's very tough for you in a way because you guys have a lot of things to do. But I was also wanted to mention a sport clubs program. They have like 29 sports clubs, and I know that there's some sport clubs that athletics don't have as well. Like we have women's rugby, and then we have men's rugby and other stuff. And archery and other. I know that Cheer and Dance already has like a collaboration with you guys already, but more so like if a collaboration could be done between the sport clubs program as well as the athletics will be great. For example, the women's basketball team, they don't have a coach, so they coach themselves, and which is really awesome to see. Like I was sport clubs president for this academic year, and I went to their game, and I was like, that is amazing. Like for them to coach themselves, and I feel like it would be a great collaboration because I know athletics have coaches for each team, but for a sport clubs program, it can be a little bit tough for some teams. So I think just having that collaboration more in programming and just like being able to be out there to reach out to students as well.
Absolutely. I think that's great. Initially, what comes to mind is we have a lot of student athletes who want to go into coaching. This could be a great opportunity for internship or maybe just some work opportunities as a student athlete or even some of our managers. So I am definitely open to that. I was unaware that they were coach led by the players, but be more than willing to be a resource. And whether it's in my office having conversations or other coaches on staff just to connect and fill in the gaps where it's needed, I am in full support of that. If there's things that are a little bit more practical that you need, feel free to reach out. If I can help in any way, I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I'm more than willing to be a resource and support because it is about the collective experience for all of our students.
I'm going to piggyback on one thing is that we're not too busy ever for the students and the students of our whole Cal State Northridge. Our door is wide open. I can speak for Angie and our door is wide open for any of you guys anytime. You guys are the reason why we have jobs. You guys are the reason why we do this business. They are students, and we love to speak to students, and we love to help out in any way at our university. So we're always open 24 hours. We're not that busy.
Thank you so much. Is there any other comments before we wrap up?
Well, we're taking home a back over to the building, a list, a good, solid list of possibilities. And rest assured that we will follow up on these and embrace some of these ideas wholeheartedly. We look forward to seeing you in the fall, maybe some of you over the summer. Go Matadors.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Awesome. All right. We'll now go ahead and move into open forum. Open forum is intended as an opportunity for any member of the public to address the Associated Students Senate regarding any issues affecting CSUN students. Speakers are allowed 3 minutes each to speak. Please sign in using the clipboard for minute recording purposes.
Good morning, everybody. Most of you know I'm John Dobler. I'm the Human Resources Manager for Associated Students at Cal State Northridge. I just wanted to take a moment to thank you all for all of your hard work and dedication to the students of this university. Your work this year has shown true as it does every year. This board is very important to the organization. It's very important to the students of this university. So thank you. And with that, I want to wish you all the best of luck on your finals. If you are continuing as a Matador on campus, we'll see you next year. And if you are continuing as a Matador after you graduate, go Matadors and go out there and get it.
Good morning, everybody. For the last time, for those of you that don't know, my name is James Forster. I serve as the AS Programs Manager, and I'm here to all give you some updates on our events. So for the last week of programming for our team, we have 4 events in 4 days for y'all. So tonight we have Finals Are a Drag, which will be hosted in the Northridge Center from 4 to 6 p.m. So for those of you who've never been before, it's basically drag bingo with some performances, awesome prizes, things like that. So come out tonight from 4 to 6 in the Northridge Center. Tomorrow is our final farmers market of the semester. So if you're looking to either get that cool item that you might have seen at some of our vendors or whatnot, make sure you do that tomorrow because they will not be back next week. It is also our AAPI celebration at the farmers market from 10 to 2 over in Matador Square. On Wednesday, we'll be hosting our Fallen Matador Memorial, which is an annual event that we host. It actually spawned out of a resolution from here from student leadership. It'll be from 10 to 3 p.m. in front of the Matador statue over on Clary Walk East. It's an opportunity to come by and honor any CSUN student, faculty, staff, alumni, or a family member close to you who may have passed away recently or something like that. So we'll have some white roses and some memory trees there for you all to honor anyone. It's open to any student, staff, or community member to come through and have a passive moment to make that moment there special for them. And then finally, on Thursday, our last event of the semester, we'll be hosting our Eco Fashion Expo. It'll be in the Plaza del Sol right out here. It'll be from 2 to 6 p.m. And it's kind of a prelude to Trends, their fashion show that they're hosting in the Northridge Center starting at 6 p.m. So from 2 to 6 in the Plaza del Sol, we'll have our Eco Fashion Show. And that's it for our programs for the year. The one final thing over Summer Movie Fest will be back. We'll be starting that in June. Daniel is actually going to be putting out the flyers for that really soon. So stay tuned for the movie list, but you can expect to see us over summer once a week on Thursdays starting in June. And we're looking forward to it. Thank you all so much.
Anyone else here for open forum?
There you go. One moment. Yeah. Okay, so hello, everyone. My name is Alejandro Dominguez, and I'm here just to talk about the resolutions that are in new business and just give my support for them. And just in general, like currently we are in a time of great need and like of worry because of the change, because of the change that like is happening and the direction that the federal administration is taking under President Trump. And so I think it is important for institutions like these that represent the people, being the students, to speak up and hold, or at least call out and keep tabs on what is going on nationally or even statewide and locally. And so I'm glad to see that there is going to be a proposed resolution, lines item 9 and 11, for, well, 9 to speak against like the anti-transgender rhetoric that has been picking up recently since Trump has become president. and then also just speak against his like unconstitutional actions that he's taken. And yeah, so I just want to thank the senators who have been like behind this and putting in the work to represent the voices of the students. And I hope that it passes. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I want to give more detailed information regarding the Omatsu houses that I was talking about, the cultural houses, because I was like, I promote Omatsu houses so much, yet I don't remember inviting guys enough, even though I do share here and there. So I work as a student assistant for a women's center, and I would like to share some of the things that they do. Is that every Tuesday they give away a free fresh produce that is donated from local farmers. Bless you. And then we since also Women's Center have food and children pantry. So there's a dry goods, canned goods, and also toothpaste, toothbrush, and random things based on donation. And also Women's Center have disposable and reusable menstrual products for our students and staff that who may need, that it can add so much on top of the regular student cost. We also have two wellness missions, one at the USU here Soul Center, and then one in the dorms. Have the contraceptive pills, emergency contraceptive pills, condoms, lubes, tampons, pads, a Tylenol, Adderall, pregnancy tests, and COVID test. And another one that also Women's Center and is the other Omatsu houses. Their goal is to have safe space for so many students. So please, take a tour there, come visit, see what Omatsu houses look like. It's just more than when you're a student, you are just so busy to come and go, as Katie mentioned, that commuter, but also build your network. You don't know what kind of connections you can make in those Omatsu houses. And so many times they host events. You can also volunteer in the events also. Another thing that the Women's Center provide is that Narcan and fentanyl test strips. So, there's no judgment, judgment-free zone, and students with who might need to provide for safety. We promote for safetyness. You get quick training for Narcan, and then we provide you free Narcan. And yeah, that's all I want to say. Thank you.
Is there anyone else here for open forum?
Point of personal privilege.
Granted. Okay. Anyone? Okay. All right. Thank you. We'll now move past open forum and unfinished business into new business. My first ask for motion is to enter the committee of the whole. Is there a motion? Senator Basilio.
I move to enter committee of the whole.
Thank you. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Natapudi. Any discussion on the motion to enter committee of the whole? Seeing none, if there are no objections to entering committee of the whole, it will pass unanimously on the motion to enter. Is there any objections? Seeing none, we have now entered committee of the whole. Our first item in committee of the whole is to approve the annual end of year celebration code as amended. Is there a motion on the floor? Vice President Khan?
I move to approve line item A1, A2, A3, and A4 under new business.
Okay, yeah, that works too. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Basilio. Any discussion on that motion? Senator Gavino.
So just looking at wait, can I pull it up? In all the standing committee codes, there's an amendment that says the chair shall be responsible for reading aloud all referrals that are tabled indefinitely and explain the reasoning for it at Senate meetings in the report. At least me personally, I don't think this necessarily needs to be codified. I think if we start codifying things about reports, it leaves it a little iffy about what we can add, what we can take away. I think it's a discussion that can be had with the people who oversee standing committees. So that would be like the vice president. Um, but I think it's maybe coming out of a place of the experiences of senators and of standing committee chairs this year. And I think that the change doesn't necessarily need to be codified, but I'm willing to hear your guys'
Yeah.
interpretation on it.
Attorney General Martinez.
Excuse me. One of the main things that I was really pushing for this was because in some of the committees we would table something indefinitely just because we needed to change something or we needed someone to put it in differently just so that way we could keep working on it, or it was just a small error like this where if it was the wording was changed or just something about it that was simple, we could continue working on it, but we would table it and no one would reach out to a senator to tell them what was going on or what happened with it. So a lot of the times I feel like it's really important for the chairs to let your fellow senators know exactly what's going on in your committees and why they're being tabled. And if there is something going on that they could change easily to do that, that's why I feel like it's important to codify that. And also, this is recorded and we do have constituents here. I feel like telling them what's going on in committees and what's getting tabled, I feel like it's really important. So that's why we push to codify it.
Go ahead.
I just wonder if that could just be a discussion that's had with standing committee chairs instead of directly being codified. Because as I said, it's not when you start codifying things in reports. Just for an example, the chair of finance code and the code on finance does not have a line in it that says that the chair of finance must read out the account balances, and yet they are read out because that's a discussion that's had at the starting of the year and when they're training. And I think that can be added, but I just worry about adding it to the reports because then what are we defining? So
Thank you. Senator Heminiano Aragon.
I mean, I understand your point of view, but I would also not see any harm in putting it in the code. I feel like it would also make it a standard so that all of the chairs know how to base off their reports too. So, and also like let's remember that chairs do get paid $100 more for each of their stipend, at least for this year. So I would say like making it part of the chair's duties wouldn't really make it so difficult on them, you know.
Oh yeah, Vice President. Sorry. She's like, go ahead.
No, I do like the idea of it being codified because it sets a standard. And if in 1 year we look back at it and we're like, this was the wrong decision to make, the next administration can do that. I think starting it off with it being codified is really important. Additionally, whoever is overseeing the enforcement of the code, they can always make exceptions. Like there's a lot of things in a lot of codes that haven't been followed. And it's because an exception was made or there's a mutual understanding of this not being able to be fulfilled. So I think starting with it codified is going to be a good standard. And if it needs to be revisited, it will be revisited.
yeah, I understand your all points of view. I don't know if we should be basing our practices and our actions on exceptions, but yeah, I digress, but I understand, so I'll stop talking.
You can make a motion to amend at any point.
I'm not going to make a motion.
Okay. Just saying. Any further discussion? All right, seeing none, we'll take this to a vote. All in favor of approving line items 1, 2, 3, and 4 under Committee of the Whole, please raise your hand if you approve. This passes unanimously. Thank you. Well, now I'll now ask for a motion to exit Committee of the Whole. Senator Nunez.
Wait,
Permission to be recognized.
permission to be recognized.
Granted. Is there a motion to exit Committee of the Whole? Senator Basilio.
I move to exit Committee of the Whole.
Thank you. Second. Seconded by Senator Perez. Any discussion on the motion to exit Committee of the Whole? Seeing none, we'll take this to a vote. If there are no objections to exiting Committee of the Whole, it will happen. Is there any objections? Thank you. That is happening, and we have now exited Committee of the Whole. I didn't say motion when I so I tried to adapt. We'll now just move straight into discussion to approve the recommendations of the committee of the whole. Senator Gavino,
Point of personal privilege.
granted. Senator Heminano Aragon.
I move to approve the.
Oh, no needed. Just, we're in discussion already. Any discussion? All right, seeing none, we'll take this to a vote. All in favor of approving the recommendations of the committee of the whole, please raise your hand. This passes unanimously. Thank you. All right, we'll now move on to reports. I'm asking myself and everyone doing reports, as you all know, and Denise sent an email to everyone. We have a lot of stuff. So keep it concise if you can. I will also try my best to do the same. So I'll go ahead and start with my report. Before I start with my report, we had end of year celebration last week, and someone in this room did not get their awards. I'm going to give it to them right now. Chair of Finance, Ponce. That's my OG. We just both got the lifetime awards together in the same year. Isn't that awesome? Wow, that's beautiful. We were co-senators. If I haven't said this like 6 times before, I probably have. Great. Okay, now with my report. So, really great news that I heard when we were in Stanislaus State this past weekend for our last Cal State Student Association plenary is Jeannie Tran Martin, who's the CSU Interim Director for Student Affairs Programs, reported that 69 out of 70 of the SEVIS terminations have been reversed in the CSU. So I honestly want to that was really good news. So good update for anyone. Well, it should be everyone that was concerned about that. We had a resolution approved in the System-Wide Affairs Committee that Vice President Khan will probably touch on in her report, supporting trans rights, which passed unanimously, which was really awesome to see. It was a beautiful resolution written by the San Jose State ASI president. This past weekend was actually really fun, but it was definitely a good reminder about how politics are. And as you all, move on from this space and, maybe are returning, just keep in mind that just get out of your echo chamber as much as you can, because we had a lot of people in their echo chamber this past weekend. It wasn't a lot of people, it was like a minority of people. And it caused a lot of disruption. Not a lot of disruption, but it was like political disruption. And people will remember your faces, they'll remember what you say, they'll, remember who you are. And unfortunately, for a lot of the people in that room, they're going to remember that action, the actions that they, said or did yesterday, the things that they said versus all of the hard work that they put in the whole year. So just remember that. But yeah, it was really fun and juicy, and Vice President Khan and Chair Sarabia and Senator Heminano Aragon were in for a treat. But yeah, so just letting you know, if you're curious, which you guys probably are now, you can ask us. As I've mentioned before, I'm currently the Vice President of System-Wide Affairs elect for Cal State Student Association. So I'm going to be beginning kind of like transitioning into that role in the next couple weeks. I'll be, I think, attending the May Board of Trustees meeting alongside the current president of CSSA, the incoming president, who also happens to be the current vice president of System-Wide Affairs. We have our closed session today for the Associated Students Executive Director motion and approval. And I just want to give a big shout out to John, our HR manager, Dr. Watkins, our Vice President of Student-Wide Affairs, wow, I'm combining the words. Did you guys hear that? Wow, I had to take a second. Student Affairs and Dean of Students, as well as our Search and Screen Committee. We have a couple people here. I'm going to give them a shout out. James Forrester and Madison Alley Flores. Thank you for being here. They're on our Search and Screen Committee, and it was a long process, but we did a really good job. And we were on time, which was very important. So we'll be going into closed session later. And oh yeah, honestly, let's do that. Let's do that. I'll be explaining the procedures of closed session and kind of what you all can expect later on in the meeting when we get there. I will be partnering sort of with Student Affairs and as a CSUN student, hopefully in the next year, oh, Freddie's here, to help kind of with the conversation around the SWANA Center coming into the Matador Success and Inclusion Center, which is really exciting. So I will get you your list of students, Freddie, and we will talk about that. I'm still in the middle of the Associate Vice President of Enrollment Services Search and Screen Committee. I actually just came back from our second interview this morning, and I ran over here. I was pretty proud of myself for making it. And then last, like, professional, I guess, thing, and then I'll speak just as a person. But we had our kind of last AI task force meeting of the semester, and myself and some people in our working group talked about an idea of having a town hall with our students to kind of reimagine the traditional ways of how we teach and how that's going to really be impacted with artificial intelligence and how it's being integrated on the CSU level. So I'll still be in conversations with them, and hopefully I'll kind of help them get pipelined into having more conversations with the next administration. So yeah, and kind of just wanted to say, since this is my last report, I've really enjoyed my time in AS, and it's nice to think back and reflect that, I was sitting over there and then I ended up here, and the kind of like work and commitment and devotion and passion that I've really put into this organization, essentially my whole college career, has really had the biggest impact. It has been the most professional development of my life, and it has truly changed the person I am and will forever change the person I am. So I'm really grateful for this opportunity and this privilege. It is a privilege 100%. And I'm so excited for all of you and the great work that you will be doing. And I hope you know that I'm really proud of the board that we had this year. I'm sure if there's anyone here that remembers kind of me when I was a senator, but the board that I had, I was a very outspoken person, and I thought, oh man, like I wish people like kind of did more, because it makes it more fun. And I think you guys definitely like exceeded that for me. And I was really just hoping that, the board this year would be really kind of on top of legislation and adaptable to the campus and really really care, really care. They're not here to put this on their resume. They're here to do the good work. And I saw that very well. And I'm really proud of all of you, how you've been able to adapt to the federal administration and to all the changes in the CSU on this campus, and just being really vigilant to that, and how much you guys care for bringing justice and light to issues that are impacting our community. Thank you to everyone that comes to Open Forum and sits in the gallery. We appreciate you, and we it's nice knowing those seats are, half full at least every time. And, we're really happy to always have you all here. Thank you to the liaisons of AS, and that's Asia and Dr. Ward. And we appreciate your support. I know you both have been around here in our space for a long time, and we appreciate you kind of keeping up with us and caring to keep showing up and stuff like that. And just everyone, I could go on for a long time, but we have a long meeting, but I appreciate everyone, and it's been a pleasure to, serve in this capacity, and I'm really excited for what you all have to offer in the future. So thank you. Are there any? Oh, thanks. Any questions? Senator Toledo-Carranza.
Point of personal privilege.
Granted. Senator Gavina.
Permission to be recognized.
Granted. Okay. We'll now move on to the next report, Vice President's report with Vice President Khan.
I will actually keep it short. I'm just kidding. Good morning. Happy last Senate meeting. Let us be glad. Let us be grateful. I will keep it short because Katie covered most of what I wanted to go over, but I will go over what was passed in system-wide affairs at CSSA. It was a resolution in support of trans students' rights, and it was authored by SJSU's AS President Ariana Laxon. And their campus specifically did have some unfortunate circumstances with a student who was allegedly transgender, and it was a horrible, horrible situation. And President Laxon really stood up and killed it with this resolution. It's beautiful. Go read it if you haven't. It's very well thought out, and it's a beautifully written I think this is the best resolution I've ever read. I do want to say to that point, President Laxon is actually a biotech major. She's not in poli-sci or anything, and I know a lot of people who are like, when I'm politically involved, I'm a political science major, I know what I'm doing. This resolution had so much well thought out research, and it was used beautifully. And to that point, I'm also not like one of those like political majors. It goes to show you need to expand your team, and you need to like network and have a wide variety of people you're working with, because it leads to great things. Everyone has a background, and you can really utilize it, and great things come out of it. To that point, thank you to the team. We all come from very different places, and we did just that. We worked together beautifully with our different backgrounds and our different educational journeys. And I'm very, very grateful to have worked with all of you directly. It's been an honor. I also do want to take the time to thank like the staff in the room, the admin. I leaned on you all so much, and I'm very grateful. Specifically like Denise for being our absolute backbone in the office. We would be flopping around without you. And Tim for doing a great job this year. It's, running start, and it was just great getting to work with you. And also, Calvin's not here, but I wanted to give him a shout out because, oh, hey, Calvin! Hey! I know, you literally did. He's right above the gallery. But my laptop got stolen a couple weeks ago, and Calvin's been helping me out with all of my like tech issues I've been having, transitioning over to like utilizing my VP laptop fully. Like on the weekends, I think I texted you at 11 p.m. on Saturday, and you replied, thank you. But that just goes to show how great our team is. But yeah, that's it. I just wanted to, have some fun, give some fun shout outs. I'm very grateful for everyone in this room. And I don't even know how to end this. Like, it's so bittersweet. I'm like, I want to say more, but I don't know what else to say. I think I just don't want it to be over. But yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Any questions of the Vice President's report? Okay, seeing none, we'll go ahead with the Chief of Staff's report with Chief of Staff Ramos.
Alrighty, good morning, everyone. Again, please bear with me. I'm a little sick, so my voice is a little raspy still. And once again, please bear with me because this is the cabinet report. It is a little lengthy. But you know what? I'll wrap it up for you, Denise. Yay. Okay. Overall, as we come to the end of the academic year, the cabinet has accomplished many wonderful and impactful initiatives, including Big Party, DEI Week, Spring into Unity, Welcome Week, recently AS Leadership Election. Shout out to Nessie for doing that huge wrap up. We also engaged with students through tabling, like at events such as the farmers market, created social media content, hired new team members, and collaborated with CSUN clubs and organizations to expand resources and strengthen our campus community, which is why we're here, guys. Yeah. While cabinet members are now completing their transition packets, a common theme across these reflections is the importance of clear communication, organization, and adaptability. Key responsibilities as a cabinet member included outreach, event planning, tabling, and committee work. Despite challenges such as limited engagement from time to time and initial miscommunication, again from time to time, significant progress was made throughout the year. Outgoing leaders encourage their successors to stay organized, communicate effectively, manage time well, and maintain strong relationships with advisors and peers. With support and guidance, we hope the next cabinet continues this momentum helping students grow, access new opportunities, and amplify their voices. Thank you, everyone, for giving me the opportunity to be chief of staff. I appreciate it, and I hope you guys have a wonderful summer.
Thank you. Any questions on the Chief of Staff's report? Seeing that, oh, yeah, go ahead.
Point of personal privilege.
Granted. We'll now move on to the Chair of Finance report with Chair Ponce.
Hey everyone, good morning. I hope things are going well, especially with the semester wrapping up. I'll first start off with the account balances. So in STAR, there is currently $91,967. In unassigned contingency, there is $619,552. And in the philanthropy fund, there is $7,464.09. And in clubs and orgs travel, there is 4,565. So last week we had our last finance committee meeting of the semester, and there was no agenda items in that meeting. It was just great to connect one last time with the finance committee members, and it was awesome to have worked with such great people that semester. And I just wanted to thank Tim and everyone in accounting for their continuous support, especially with the annual budget and with improving the code of finance. It's been awesome to work with them. And just as the semester wraps up, just continuing to work on STARS and supplemental requests that we get from students, and also further train Tyler on the assistant chair of finance role and just get him more acquainted to AS. And aside from that, last week on the 29th, IRA met and we finished IRA budget allocation. So I'm glad we were able to do that. And that is pretty much it for my report. I just wanted to thank you all once again. It's been great being an AS for the past 3 years.
My co-senator, I'm just kidding. Thank you, Chair Ponce. We'll now move on to is there any questions? We'll now move on to the Attorney General's report with Attorney General Martinez.
Hello, everyone. Happy last day of Senate. Just business first. If you haven't sent me your transition packets, please send those in to me by today at 5, so that way I can get them all sorted out. Other than that, I just want to thank a big shout out to Melanie, because without her mentioning AS in our Latino politics class, I would not be here. So big shout out to Melanie, because I couldn't imagine my college career without AS. It has been so amazing, and it truly saddens me I didn't find it sooner, because you guys are all so amazing. Thank you to Katie and Iman for being so encouraging and helpful throughout this entire process. And Denise, thank you for accepting my timesheet no matter how many times I forgot to clock in. So I really appreciate that. And then also a big shout out to Kim, because she really just kept me motivated as a senator. Seeing how much work she put in, it just kept me motivated to stay on my toes and keep doing as much work as I can, even though I am a cabinet member. So it has been amazing being your Attorney General, and I'm very sad to leave, but I'm very excited for the new term, and I'm very excited for Alvaro and Kiri, and excited to see what they're going to do next. So thank you all.
Thank you. Any questions on the Attorney General's report? Senator Taylor Carranza?
Permission to be recognized.
Granted. We'll now move on to standing committee reports. The first one is External Affairs with Senator Davino.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Great job to all my committee members throughout the semester. You guys put in a lot of hard work. I know they say that external affairs doesn't usually get a lot, but we got a lot this semester for, reasons. But you all worked really well. Thank you to my Vice Chair Harris. I know you came in near the end of the semester, but you've done a great job. You've really helped me and the committee out. Yeah, and also shout out to our member at large, Marissa. She's not here right now, but she expressed interest in returning to AS next year, which I think is great because she came in so late, but she still was able to make an impact. So that's great. I will read out the referrals that were tabled indefinitely as compelled by code. 1 second. So we tabled indefinitely referral 79, recycling bins in the USU. That was a referral that Senator Perez was working on. Got into contact with some of the people from the USU and also the AS Sustainability Center, correct? And so that's something that, because I'm returning next year, I'll be continuing as Senator Perez is graduating. We tabled indefinitely referral 64, Students of Color Coalition. Wish we could have had more time with this one. It was just honestly kind of hard to communicate because there's just a lot of moving parts of this one. I'm sure it will be re-referred next year though, because yeah. And then referral 70, we tabled indefinitely statement in support of the transgender community because Senator Hemingway Aragon and Senator Basilio were working on that. And that is on the special meeting agenda, I believe so. That was still converted into something. And then we tabled indefinitely referral 84, sustainable divestment from entities with conflicting practices or values. This was a really robust referral from Senator Miyoshi. Again, wish we could have had more time with this one, but it was just a very complicated one, came near the end of the semester. So I do expect this conversation to be continued in the next term as well. Yeah, that's all of them. We have 2 recommendations, which I'll talk more about when they come up. But thank you, everyone. It's been great.
Thank you. All right, we're now, any questions? All right, we'll now move on to the internal affairs report with Senator Basilio.
Good morning. Happy last Senate. We tabled a lot of referrals indefinitely last week, so let me read those out. We tabled indefinitely the add duties to Chief Justice position. That's now a recommendation and also a code recommendation in the agenda, so you'll see that. We also tabled indefinitely to update the Vice President's code, also in the agenda. Also to update and review the Chair of Personnel Communications, it's now on the agenda. And then the amend Attorney General Code is also on the agenda. And then we also have debriefing reports that was tabled indefinitely. That's going to be on the agenda. And then I think we had, well, those are the only referrals we tabled indefinitely. Everything else was different. A lot of the things that we accomplished are, again, on the agenda, so I'll explain that when it comes up. Or actually, we're on it right now, right? Cool.
Yeah, as soon as you finish your report, which you finished? Yeah, okay, then we'll move into the motions out of committee. Any questions on the internal affairs report? Senator Pulliam?
Permission to be recognized.
Granted. All right, we'll now move into the motions out of committee. This is where we kind of want to get speedy a little. And then just as a preface, as soon as we're done with Dr. Ward's report, we're not going to do that discussion item. We'll just move straight to a final roll call adjournment, and then we'll go into the special meeting as an FYI. All right, first motion out of committee is to approve the recommendation on legislative referral 2024-25, 075, and 24-25, 72, debriefing reports and announcements of standing committee times. We'll go straight into discussion. You all should have received this, and I hope it was reviewed. Is there any discussion? All right, seeing none, we'll take that to a vote. All in favor of approving the recommendation on the legislative referrals in the motion out of committee, please raise your hand. This passes unanimously. Thank you. We'll now move on to our second motion out of committee to approve the recommendations on legislative referral, adding to the duties of the Chief Justice position. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll take the recommendation to a vote. All in favor of approving the recommendation on the second line item, please raise your hand. This passes unanimously. Thank you. We'll now move to our third item, the motion out of committee to approve the Vice President code as amended. Any discussion? Senator Gavino.
Hi, just because we weren't in the Internal Affairs Committee, can we get a brief explanation as to why, talking about just like Senate reports, why it was left kind of a little more open in the Vice President code, but it's a little more enumerated in the Attorney General code?
So it was open in the Vice President's code to give the Vice President more freedom to choose who their designee is. The reason it's in the Attorney General code is because the Attorney General currently sends out the transition packets, so it just makes sense for them to also send out monthly report packets or templates. That's really the only reason why.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All right, seeing none, we'll take this to a vote. All in favor of approving the Vice President's Code as amended, please raise your hand. This passes unanimously. Thank you. Next item is to approve the Attorney General Code as amended. Any discussion? Senator Basilia.
I would actually like to amend that code.
Go for it.
So I move to amend the Attorney General Code to add S. The Attorney General shall compile a list of resources for students to report grade appeals and/or complaints against professors and deans. They shall also compile a list of rights students have in these meetings with deans or professors. This shall be done alongside a Senate representative.
Is there a second? Seconded by Vice President Khan. Any discussion on this amendment? Senator Gavino.
This is under Article 2, duties of the Attorney General, correct? Okay.
Thank you for that. All right, seeing none, we'll take this to a vote. All in favor of approving the amendment to the Attorney General Code, I will reiterate it. The Attorney General shall compile a list of resources for students to report grade appeals and/or complaints against professors and deans. They shall also compile a list of rights students have in these meetings with deans or professors. This shall be done alongside a Senate representative. If you are in favor, please raise your hand. Thank you. This passes unanimously. Is there any further discussion? Senator Gavino.
I move to amend the Attorney General Code under Article 2, line item J, to add in accordance with the Senate's standing rules after upheld.
Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Perez. Give me one moment. Heard. Sorry. I kind of wanted to look at it. All right. Any discussion on the amendment? Seeing none, we'll take the amendment to a vote. All in favor of the amendment to add in accordance with the Senate standing rules after the word upheld in Article 2, line J of the Attorney General Code, please raise your hand. This passes unanimously. Thank you. Any other discussion on the Attorney General Code? Seeing none, we'll take the Attorney General Code to a vote. All in favor of approving the Attorney General Code as amended, please raise your hand. This passes unanimously. Thank you. We'll now move on to approve the Chief Justice Code as amended. Any discussion? Senator Basilia.
I move to amend the Chief Justice Code to remove the M under the list of duties and add an N for that last clause, because I would like to add M, the chair shall attend Senate once a month to report back to the AS cabinet and Senate of any conversations had between CSUN clubs and organizations and the MIC to ensure these duties are being fulfilled.
Thank you. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Nunez. Any discussion on this amendment? All right, we'll take the amendment to vote. All in favor of approving the amendment to add on the Chief Justice Code, the chair shall attend Senate once a month to report back to the AS Cabinet and Senate of any conversations had between CSUN clubs and organizations and the MIC to ensure these duties are being fulfilled. Please raise your hand. This passes unanimously. Thank you. Any further discussion? Senator Gavino.
Just a question as to why we're removing the Chief Justice as an ex officio member of the Internal Affairs Committee.
Senator Basilia.
We're not removing it. We just moved the placement. If you look a little further down, it's like the last clause.
Heard. Thank you.
Yeah, I noticed that as well. And I was like, what? Did Caesar have bad thoughts about the Internal Affairs Committee? I was like, man. Any further discussion? All right, seeing none, we'll take this to a vote. All in favor of approving the Chief Justice Code as amended, please raise your hand. Thank you. This passes unanimously. We'll now move on to approve the Attorney General. To approve the Chair of Legislative Affairs Code as amended. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll take this to a vote. All in favor of approving the Chair of Legislative Affairs Code as amended, please raise your hand. Passes unanimously. Thank you. We'll now move on to the approval of the Lobby Corps Code as amended. Is there a motion? Not a motion. Discussion. All right. Seeing none, we'll take this to a vote. All in favor of approving the Lobby Corps Code as amended, please raise your hand. Your hands are just going up and down, up and down. Yep, that's good. Thank you. Passes unanimously. Almost there. We'll now move into discussion to approve the Chair Personnel and Communications Code as amended. Is there any discussion? Senator Basilio.
I move to amend the Chair Communications and Personnel Code to remove "and a senator to be chosen on a volunteer basis" under number 7 in their list of duties, to instead add "and the Senate representative to the Communications Committee."
Thank you. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Nunez. Any discussion on this amendment? Seeing none, we'll take the amendment to a vote. All in favor of approving the amendment on removing "and a senator to be chosen on volunteer basis" and replacing it with "and the Senate representative to the Communications Committee," please raise your hand if you approve. This passes unanimously. Any further discussion on the Chair of Communications and Personnel Code? Seeing none, we'll take this to a vote. All in favor of approving the Chair Personnel and Communications Code as amended, please raise your hand. Thank you. This passes unanimously. Last one. Wow. Motion out of committee. Is there any discussion to approve the Chair of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Code as amended? Senator Gavino.
I think where is it? Plan and organize the Remember the Storm event in collaboration with future humanity centers. I think it's good that we're kind of codifying the event as we codify some other DEI like week events. I don't know if we should clarify that it has to be with the future humanity centers just because we'd be adding a duty specifically to a specific senator. I think there should be the option to collaborate with them for sure, which I think is included with is recommended to be held in collaboration with EOP Ethnic Studies Department chairs. I think community center should be there instead of before.
Senator Salado Carranza.
I agree with Senator Gavino was saying. I do believe that the DEI chair should be collaborating with the senators when it comes to diversity, equity, and inclusion. Maybe just amending the code to something that is more general instead of more specific, just because we're going to have other humanity senator, and for the next administrations, it's going to be the same. So just giving it like a free room for the senators to bring out their new perspectives and ideas as well as things change and arise.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Senator Gavino? Oh, Senator Basilio, go ahead.
Definitely see your point. So I move to amend the Chair of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Code. I don't know how to read Roman numerals, but I
15.
think everybody can see. Okay. To remove "in collaboration with future humanity senators."
Thank you. Second? Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Perez. Any discussion on that amendment? Great. We'll take the amendment to a vote. If there are no objections to the amendment, it will pass unanimously. Are there any objections? All right, the amendment passes. We'll go back to the code as amended. Twice fourth. Any further discussion? Senator Gavino.
I move to amend the Chair of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Code under Article 2, line item 15, subsection B, to add humanities senators between with and EOP.
Thank you. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Perez. Any discussion? Senator Gavino.
Senator Basilio, I think this gets the same intended effect while keeping it pretty vague. So.
Yes, I agree with that. Okay, seeing none, we'll take that to a vote. All in favor of approving the amendment of adding humanity senator under Article 2, line 15, subsection B, between with and EOP, please raise your hand if you approve. This passes unanimously. Thank you. We'll now move back to the code as amended 3 times. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll take this to a vote. All in favor of approving the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Code as amended, please raise your hand. Thank you. Wow. Huzzah. Let's clap. Okay, now let's zoom. So there's a lot of pressure on that side of the table now to zoom. I'm sure you all can do it. Okay, we'll now move past the University Affairs Committee because we have no representatives that serve as the chair or the vice chair of the committee here. We'll now move into the interim AS Executive Director's report with Tim Szupanski.
Good morning, everyone. Just a couple of things to wrap up here. I just want to give another congratulations to the events team and the awards team for the end of the year celebration last week. And just for you, congratulations for a good year. Push through finals since this is the last, so now you can focus on getting that done. And congratulations to all those that are graduating. And that's all.
Thank you, Tim. Any questions on Tim's report? Seeing none, we'll move on to the University Advisor's report with Asia Butler.
Good morning. So our last event is this Wednesday in here. Greek graduation celebration from 6 to 7:30. So we'll be celebrating some graduating senators and FSL members right here in this room. So we're looking forward to it. And that's our last event for the semester. Thank you.
Thank you, Asia. Any questions on the University Advisor's report? Seeing none, we'll move on to the Faculty Advisor's report with Dr. Veda Ward.
All right, thank you, everyone. May, all right. So we started off with, of course, May Day. I wanted to remind everybody to think about International Workers' Day and what that means. I went into this a little bit last week, but we weren't quite in May then. But remember the labor movements all over the world. Certainly going back to, for me, a decade ago with Arab Spring and thinking about what that meant. The Kaiser healthcare workers issues, certainly College of Health and Human Development, but other issues on campus. Remember that municipal employees have also been affected, as well as our own California Faculty Association. So when you're working with your faculty members, deans, etc., and even recently, Mary Beth Walker talking about her time, having been here for quite a while with us, different roles that we take on in the university. Also, remember that we're looking at Cinco de Mayo, of course, Mother's Day coming up, and our Asia American Pacific Islanders Month and celebration. Lots of things that are going on, not only in the world, but also that those morph into these last few weeks of our classes. Finally, remember that finals are not final, but as they say, the real commencement. And I recommend that all of you all take forward with you those foundations that you've gotten here at Cal State Northridge. Remember that you can make great contributions to the world, not only here as Matadors and alums in the future, but everywhere that you go. And then finally, of course, I want to thank you for breakfast. It was a great joy to start that day with you and to applaud you for all that you have done for our campus this year. I love being with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Ward. One of my highlights of this year will always be running into you in Sacramento at the hotel for two completely different reasons. Any questions on Dr. Ward's report? Seeing none. Okay, I will be moving past information, discussion, legislative referrals, and announcements on this agenda, and we'll be moving straight into final roll call, and we'll be moving into the special agenda.
All right, Vice President Khan. Here. Senator Aronson. Senator Basilio. Here. Senator Gali. Senator Gavino.
Here.
Senator Geminiano Aragon.
Here.
Senator Harris. Here. Senator Covinia. Senator Larios.
Here.
Senator Miyoshi.
Here.
Senator Narapure.
Here.
Senator Nunez.
Here.
Senator Olgan.
Here.
Senator Perez. Here. Senator Pulliam. Here. Senator Toledo Carranza. Here. And Senator Chan. Thank you.
Thank you. I will adjourn this meeting at 10:38 a.m. Before I start this special meeting, I want to give everyone like 2 minutes if they want to get more food or refill their drinks. I know we're short on time, but we have the food, so we might as well. So please go ahead if you'd like. Around 10:41, we will start again. So please just keep that in mind. Let's give them a round of applause. They're super cute. You guys can put them at your future desks when you're CEOs. And remember this moment for the rest of your life. Denise, can I get one for being a lower division senator? Oh,
Can I
no
get one
response.
for being an HHD senator?
Okay, great. Just wanted to clear that up publicly. All right, so we'll go ahead. Please pull up your special meeting agenda. I will call this special meeting to order at 10:44 a.m. I'll go ahead and hand it over to Attorney General Martinez for a roll call.
All right, Vice President Khan. Here. Senator Aronson. Senator Basilio.
Here.
Senator Gali. Senator Gravino.
Here.
Senator Hemaniana Aragon.
Here.
Senator Harris. Here. Senator Covina. Senator Larios.
Here.
Senator Miyoshi.
Here.
Senator Nadapure.
Here.
Senator Nunez.
Here.
Senator Olgun.
Here.
Senator Perez.
Here.
Senator Pulliam.
Here.
Senator Toledo Carranza.
Here.
Senator Chen. Thank you. We have quorum.
Thank you. And just for reference, I know what we said, our closed session will be at 10:45, but we will actually be moving into our closed session closer to 11 o'clock, given the items on the agenda. So we'll now be moving past special presentation, open forum, and reports. Oh, didn't approve the agenda. Wow, can't believe I did that. Is there a motion on the floor for the approval of the agenda for May 5th, the special meeting? Senator Basilio?
I move to approve the special meeting agenda for May 5th, 2025.
Thank you. Second, seconded by Senator Natapudi. Any discussion on the approval of today's special meeting agenda? Seeing none, if there are no objections to the motion to approve today's agenda on the special meeting, they will pass unanimously. Are there any objections? Seeing no objections, the special meeting agenda has passed unanimously. We'll now move past special presentation, open forum reports, straight into new business. First item is to enter committee of the whole. Is there a motion to enter committee of the whole? Senator Natapudi.
I move to enter the committee of the whole.
Thank you. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Basilio. Any discussion on the motion to enter committee of the whole? I'm speaking like an auctioneer. Just if there's anyone looking for an auctioneer, I know. Shout out to Iman. She actually gave me that joke, but I wanted to mention it in the public. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll take this to a vote. If there are no objections to the motion to enter committee of the whole, it'll pass unanimously. Any objections to that? Seeing none, has passed unanimously. We'll now enter committee of the whole. First line item is to approve SB 242510, support California legislative for the 2025 cycle. Is there, Vice President Khan?
I move to approve Senate Bill 2024-2510, support California legislative for the 2025 cycle.
Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Perez. Any discussion on this item? Vice President Khan?
This whole resolution directly correlates with CSSA's sponsored and sponsored and I'm losing the word, supported legislation for this year. This is a lot of the things we advocated for at CHES. If you have any questions about anything on there, is it any different than what we already advocated for? But let me know.
Thank you. Any further discussion, Senator Gavino?
The bill number on the resolution text itself listed as number 11. Is that a problem? Does that need to be?
That's fine. We can make that
Okay.
on our back end. Any other discussion? Seeing none, we'll take this to a vote. All in favor of approving SB 2024-2510, support California legislative for the 2025 cycle, please raise your hand if you approve. This passes unanimously. Great, awesome. We'll move on to our second item to approve SB 25. That should say 24. That's okay. SB 2425-009, condemning anti-transgender and anti-non-binary policy and rhetoric. Is there a motion on the floor? Senator Basilio.
I move to approve SP 2024 to 25009, condemning anti-transgender and anti-non-binary policy and rhetoric.
Thank you. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Heminiano Aragon. Any discussion on this item? Senator Heminiano Aragon.
Hopefully everyone was able to read it through. I think we do not have time with the amendments that we want to make to go over it, but I move to amend the resolution to strike through whereas 16.
Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Basilio. Is there any discussion? Go ahead.
It was just because now they over here we said that the US Army was not providing gender affirming care, but now they went back to giving it again, so it's just not true anymore.
Thank you. Matt. Just want to show for the people in the gallery. Thank you. So whereas 16 will be stricken through, that is the amendment on the floor. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll take that to a vote. All in favor of approving the amendment to strike through whereas 16 on this resolution, please raise your hand. Passes unanimously. Thank you. Any further discussion on the item as amended? Senator Gavino.
I move to amend Senate Bill 9 under whereas 2 to strike through the old AS mission statement and add the full text of the new AS mission statement as listed in the AS Constitution.
Thank you. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Perez. Any discussion on this item? Seeing none, we'll take that to a vote. If there are no objections to that amendment, it will pass unanimously. Are there any objections? Seeing none, the amendment passes. Any further discussion? Senator Basilio.
I move to amend Resolution 9, whereas 6, to remove the dashed lines and instead add parentheses to mark the definitions of each term clearly.
Thank you. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Heminiano Aragon. Any discussion? So just as a reference, that would be putting a parentheses around individuals who gender identify, whose gender identity differs from their assigned sex at birth, and a parentheses around people with a gender identity that does not identify exclusively with the male or female binary. Okay, we'll take that to a vote. If there are no objections to the addition of parentheses in replacement of the dashes on whereas 6, it will pass unanimously. Are there any objections? Seeing none, that amendment passes. Any further discussion? Senator Heminiano Aragon.
I move to amend Resolution 9 to modify and resolved 3 instead of LGBTQ. What is it?
You want to
It's in the
restate it?
second page. It's on the other page. Like, can you like scroll up? Yeah. Instead of LGBTQ, amended to LGBTQA2S+.
Okay. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Basilio. Any discussion on the amendment? Just to clarify, are we saying LGBTQIA2S plus? Just want to make that clear. I don't think that was, it kind of could have been misinterpreted in the motion. Any discussion? All right, seeing none, we'll take that to a vote. All in favor of changing LGBTQ to LGBTQIA2S plus on 3 resolved on the resolution, please raise your hand. Thank you. This passes unanimously. Any further discussion? Senator Basilio.
On that same note, I move to amend Resolution 9, resolved 6, to add 2S after the LGBTQIA.
Thank you. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Perez. Any discussion? If there are no objections, this amendment will pass unanimously. Are there any objections? Seeing none, the amendment to line 6 resolved, adding 2S to LGBTQIA plus has passed unanimously. Any further amendments? Senator Heminiano Aragon.
I move to amend the Resolution 9 for 6 resolved to, instead of stating dress department, to acknowledge the overlap of the LGBTQ, instead of modify it to CSUN Dress Department to acknowledge the intersectionality between the LGBTQIA2S+.
So are you essentially changing overlap to intersectionality?
To acknowledge the intersectionality, yeah.
Okay, so just as a clarifying, the motion can be to just replace overlap with intersectionality for 6 resolved.
Yeah.
Correct. Thank you. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Basilio. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll take that to a vote. All in favor of approving the change of replacing overlap with intersectionality on 6 resolved, please raise your hand. This passes unanimously. Thank you. Any other? Senator Emiliano Aragon.
I move to amend the resolution 9 to add after 11 resolved, a 12 resolved. AS supports the CSSA resolution 2025-02 resolution in support of trans students' rights, which affirms transgender and non-binary identities while ensuring that they are supported throughout their education, and therefore let it be. 13 resolved. AS recognizes the commitment from CSSA as well as from the author of the resolution, San Jose State University's 2024-2025 ASI President, Ariana Laxon, to the trans and non-binary community, and therefore let it be.
Thank you. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Basilio. Any discussion on this amendment? That is just an addition to the resolution on the of the resolution that Vice President Khan and I talked about in our reports. All right, seeing none, if there are no objections to that amendment, it will pass unanimously. Are there any objections? Seeing none, that has passed. Any other amendments? Any other discussion on the resolution? Okay, seeing none. Really great work on the resolution. Really good. Really awesome. Very necessary. And I hope the work continues for years to come for the community. We'll take it to a vote. All in favor of approving the resolution titled Condemning Anti-Transgender and Anti-Non-Binary Policy and Rhetoric as amended, please raise your hand. This passes unanimously. Congratulations. Yep. All right. We'll now move on to, lost the agenda. All right, we'll now move on to our next item. Oh, to approve SB 2425-011, condemning federal actions from President Donald Trump and the executive branch. Is there a motion on the floor? Senator Basilio.
I move to approve SB 2425-011, condemning federal actions from President Donald Trump and the executive branch.
Thank you. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Harris. Any discussion? Senator Gavino.
I move to amend Senate Bill 11 under 29 whereas to add threats against before diversity and also add including the launch of a portal entitled enddei.ed.gov after departments.
Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Perez. Any discussion on the amendment? All right, seeing none, if there are no objections to the amendment, it'll pass unanimously. Are there any objections? Seeing none, the amendment has passed unanimously. Any further discussion on the resolution? So Senator Gavino and I have been working on this for the past 3 or 4 months. So I'm glad it's fully fledged and very research heavy and very detailed. And I hope it reaches the masses that we are clearly sending it to in our recipient list, if you haven't seen that. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll take this to a vote. All in favor of approving SB 2024-2511, condemning federal actions from President Donald Trump and the executive branch, please raise your hand if you approve. This passes unanimously. Thank you so much. I'll now ask for a motion to exit committee of the whole. Senator Toledo Carranza.
I move to exit committee of the whole.
Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Pulliam. Any discussion on the motion to exit committee of the whole? Seeing none, we'll take that to a vote. If there are no objections to exiting committee of the whole, it'll pass unanimously. Are there any objections? Seeing none, we have now exited committee of the whole. We'll go straight into discussion to approve the recommendations of the committee of the whole. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll take that to a vote as well. All in favor of approving the recommendations of the committee of the whole, please raise your hand. Thank you. This passes unanimously. All right, we'll now move on to two external affairs motions out of committee to approve the recommendation in 2024-2581, full student access to the Chicana House. Is there a motion on the floor? Senator Toledo Carranza.
Point of order.
Yes.
It's a motion out of committee.
Thank you so much. Is there discussion on the item? Senator Gavino.
I hope you guys read this. Just a recommendation to include a full-time staff member and student assistants at the Chicana House because they don't have one right now. But
Thank
yeah.
you. All right, we'll take this to a vote. All in favor of approving the recommendation on 2024-2581, full student access to the Chicana House, please raise your hand. Thank you. This passes unanimously. We'll now move into discussion. Thank you, Senator Gavino. To approve the recommendation of 2024-2583, address accessibility of on-campus facilities, services, and architecture. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll take that to a vote. If there are no objections to approve the recommendation of 2024-2583, it will pass unanimously. Are there any objections? Seeing none, the recommendation passes unanimously. We'll now go on to our next line item to approve the AS Public Relation Funds Source and Use Policy. Is there a motion on the floor? Senator Toledo Carranza.
I move to approve the AS Public Relation Fund Source and Use Policy.
Thank you. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Basilia. Any discussion? Senator Basilia.
Didn't we miss the to approve recommendation 2024-2583 address accessibility of on-campus facility services and architecture?
We just did that right now.
We did?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really fast. Auctioneer. No, I did it really fast. Yeah, it's real. Any discussion on line item E? Senator Basilia.
Is this new?
So, I mean, as an FYI, we are the board of directors to the organization. So if there's any policies, not all of them, but we have some policies that come into the organization that we have to approve as a board. I'm sure Tim can speak to it and his hand is raised. So go ahead. I forgot that. Yeah.
That's okay. So this is actually part of our operating agreement with Cal State Northridge. Our old policy was very vague and wasn't really written as a policy. So we worked with the campus to actually generate this policy. And then this will go with our operating agreement to them to be signed off by all those that need to put their signatures, which is the president and the chancellor's office.
Thank you. All right, seeing no further discussion, we'll take this to a vote. All in favor of approving line item E to approve the AS Public Relations Fund Source and Use Policy, please raise your hand. This passes unanimously. Thank you. We'll now move on to our next line item F. Is there a motion on the floor? Vice President Khan.
I move to amend the minutes of June 3rd. I move to amend the minutes of July 5th. I move to amend the minutes of August 5th, which read as line item F, G, and H under new business.
Thank you. I'm interpreting that as one motion for 3 line items. Is there a second? Senator Geminiano Aragon. Thank you. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, we'll take this to a vote. If there are no objections to approving line items F through H, they will pass unanimously. Are there any objections? Seeing none, they have passed unanimously. Okay, so we are at closed session now. Give me one moment. Oh, we already know what we're doing. That's nice. So our board members, oh man. Our board members can stay, obviously. But all of our ex officio members, sorry, USU tech person, we spoke. He's cool with it. Yeah. Yes, John. Oh, you guys have to go too. I'm sorry. Oh, and then if you could take the feed down, if it's already not down.